While I was looking through submissions for styling your Lolita, I found that there were multiple submissions that surrounded berry prints, and I figured, why not just fully dedicate this episode to all berries? I asked for a few more submissions and I received a lot, and unfortunately I won't be able to get to all of them today, but I will still get to them in the future. You can sort of see I am wearing a print with berries in it. It is my Angelic Forest JSK. I will post a full coordinate picture on Instagram because you can't see the true berry greatness that is the border print. This is the series where I take submissions from you of your coordinates that you may not be happy with or might want more suggestions on how to style in different ways. The advice that I give in these videos is all my personal opinion based off of my own style. It might not be the correct advice based off of Lolita standards, but it's just the kind of styles that I like. You do not have to take my advice. You can fully disagree with me in the comments. The more opinions and ideas that we have, the more ways that we can wear this fashion, so it's always good to share those thoughts. I made coordinates for the submissions that we'll be going over in this video, and I used pieces from 42 Lolita. They are a visual guide, so if you want to purchase these exact items, the code is on the graphic and you can just enter that in 42 Lolita and it will come up. Of course, you do not have to purchase these items. If you want, you can use this advice for things that you already own, or for thrifting or secondhand shopping, or even consider things to make. If you shop with 42 Lolita, using my code and link will get you a discount as well as help support the channel. I feel like with this episode, because it has an overall theme, pretty much all of the advice that I give to individual Lolitas is like cross-compatible. Like I feel like each of these pieces could work with any of these coordinates, which is kind of interesting for an episode. Something new I wanted to try out for this video is I feel like I don't use the hashtag lovelylorvideo enough, and I wanted to take some inspiration from posts there. First, we have a Cray, and this coordinate is so beautifully balanced and it looks really comfortable and easy to wear in the summer. I feel like berry prints are a common motif in the spring and summer as it gets hotter, so it's kind of challenging to style in that way because you want to wear less layers, and this coordinate is a perfect demonstration of being able to do that. I wanted to admire this coordinate by Chibi because I find that styling the dark colorway of sweet prints is so challenging for me. My brain thinks of dark colors as solely gothic and then pastels as like solely sweet, and I have a really hard time combining the two. But this coordinate is a really good example of how to do it well, how to style a sweet kind of country coordinate with the darker colorway. This is another coordinate that I think is well balanced and kind of eliminates any unnecessary layers while still looking totally adorable. I am often afraid to style mint and red dresses, even though a lot of berry prints have mint in them. To me, my brain is always like red, green, Christmas, and I think that Candy Carnivore does a really good job of styling it in a way that looks very spring. It doesn't look remotely Christmassy at all. I think that even having this red bag with the white in it really brings the coordinate together. Like I think that if that was a solid red bag, it wouldn't look as nice because it's repeated again in the headpiece and then like in the lace trim on the socks and on the shoes. There's like red and white there. And then even the attention to detail in the ears, there's mint in the ears with pink that ties it back together with the skirt, and then the wrist cuffs are like a perfect amalgamation of all of the colors together. A lot of the questions and concerns I get with coordinate submissions are, I need more accessories, I don't have enough accessories, I need more accessories. And this is a perfect example of not having a ton of accessories, but just being very thoughtful with the ones that you have. As you can see, they have this one strawberry pin here, and that really brings it all together and makes the focus. They have bows down the blouse, and I don't know if it came like that or if they added that, but it's really nice that they're white so it blends in with the collar and then the rest of the whites in the print. It's not overly distracting. I feel like if these bows, for example, were red, it would be too much and then the strawberry wouldn't stand out as nicely as it does here. With these coordinates in mind, let's take a look at these submissions and see what coordinates I built for them. This is Carley and her coordinate for Royal Berry, and she is in Australia looking for advice for this dress to be worn in winter as well as summer, and is having difficulty styling it outside of just implementing red and white. So she wants to look for more ways to incorporate colors into her outfits from this dress. I pulled a bunch of colors from this print. There is a lot to work with, and it's difficult because it is a really busy print, so you want the focus to be on the dress. There are people with really impressive coordinating skills above my level that can like mix around a bunch of patterns with this sort of thing, but I don't know how. I went with this blouse for it because it ends about mid-length, and I feel like you could wear this in the summer and the winter. You could maybe pair it with gloves in the winter or with like a bolero or coat over top of it. I think that these socks pull the headpiece together with the dress because of the lace repeated in it, and I think that in the winter you could easily pair this with a pair of tights. Could be cool actually to do like a solid color tight and then these socks. I don't know why I didn't choose shoes for this. Do I have another graphic with shoes? I did choose shoes, but I didn't put them in the graphic. I don't know why. I love this hat. It is so cute. I think that the detailing in it is reflected in the print around the brim of it and like the flowers and the lace. So this is Astro's Berry coordinate, and the dress is Alice Girl Strawberry JSK, and they do not have the front bow because they purchased it secondhand, and they've been wearing Lolita for about a year and don't have a lot of headpieces. They always wear wigs with their coordinates but have difficulty matching things with this dress. Their style is mainly classic and country but want to lean into some more sweet Lolita. I pulled a bunch of random items as well for Astros that I was contemplating, but we're gonna go over the coordinate first and then look at those other items that could be switched out. For some reason with berry prints, I always go for these socks, and like anytime I think of country Lolita, I think of ruffly socks, but this particular type of lace, it's giving more of like an old school Lolita vibe from Cotton Candy Feet for these shoes, but I feel like their darker red color would probably work better, and I wanted to mention that before we got into things. This Centauro blouse, I love recommending this blouse. I own it in purple. It's just so nice and comfortable. Even though they don't have the front bow, I think that the collar could kind of fill in that space where it's missing, and if they ever decided to like DIY a replacement, it could be a really cute look with it. I also feel like this blouse could be used in other classical looks as well. The same thing goes for the bonnet. I saw this bonnet and I thought it was just so adorable. I feel like it really pulls the print in. It really gives it that country look. But I think if you were able to remove the accessories within the bonnet, that it could be used in a classic way as well. Anytime I try to style classic, it comes out sweet. So if you're a classic Lolita looking for sweet Lolita, I feel like I'm the right person to go to. Because I'm like, yeah, this is totally a classic coordinate. Meanwhile, it's absolutely sweet. The Centauro blouse, the pieces from it kind of hang lower, but then it does kind of expose more of your arms. So whenever I wear mine, I really like wearing wrist cuffs or gloves with it. And I think that gloves add such a really cute, nice detail to your hands. Then you don't have to worry about like what your nails look like or rings or anything like that. You're fully covered. It does make it annoying to use phones. So some people will put hot glue on the tips of their gloves to be able to use their fingertips. I usually will just like cut out a tiny hole and like burn the edges so that there's just a hole in my gloves. Putting hot glue on your gloves or cutting little holes in them is gonna lower the resale value, so make sure that you are truly invested in your gloves if you're gonna do something like that. But it's so much less annoying than constantly having to take off a glove and hold it in your hand and do stuff. So yeah, I also think that these wrist cuffs could be an alternative for the gloves. I felt like they were a little bit too busy for what I had put together. They could potentially pull the look from the bonnet down to the wrists, but I'm not sure because this print is so large. This print doesn't have a lot of extra detailing in it, which is fine. Like the focus is on the print and it's larger. It's a different style, so I'm not sure if these would balance with it. I think if you wanted to go more classic, more country, less sweet, this cardigan would be a very beautiful piece to pair with this that you could also potentially use with other items. This is another sweet Lolita option where you could kind of lean a little bit old school with this old school style lacing and then have details of red if you don't want to go with like a full red blouse. If you're feeling daring and you're not scared like I am to pair red and green together, I think that these tights could add a fun look, especially with these larger prints. I think that mixing stripes or gingham with them, it looks kind of nice and it can be balanced because it's kind of offsetting the larger scale of the graphics. I think that either the short version of the socks or the long ones, I think that even maybe the brown ones could work with it to kind of pull less colors and do a more muted take on it. Annie submitted 2 flat lays and I have no idea what advice to give because they look so beautiful and it puts my graphics that I make to shame. We know that I'm not a Photoshop queen, I'm not a flat lay queen, I'm just trying to express my ideas across to you in a way that hopefully you can get. It's not the most beautiful, but these are beautiful and I have no criticisms. I don't know what advice to give. I feel like a lot of the advice I gave in the inspiration section you can see them at work in these coordinates. I especially really love this apron that has the mint trim just like the blouse, and this is like another example of pulling mint from the leaves in the print and then putting it in the coordinate as a styling color even though the print isn't like heavily mint itself. Cray typically wears Gothic Lolita, but is looking for more OTT sweet advice because she fell in love with this dress. I completely see why you fell in love with this dress because it is gorgeous. I saw these shoes and I basically was like, I want to recommend these to somebody because they're really cute and look really comfortable. And I think that the color of them matches the lace in the edges of this dress. I'm worried that these shoes alone might kind of fall flat, so bringing in these kind of intricate socks kind of ties it back into the print. You can see them more, and I think that these ones, having it kind of cut off where those straps are, it will lay really nicely. So there's like gingham print in the area above the bow and then this strawberry bringing it up to the print, and like because the strawberry is a larger graphic and then the print is more busy, I think that it will look nicely balanced. I feel like you could do something potentially with striped vertical socks, striped vertical tights because of the ribbons in this dress, which could be a cute look as well. I chose this sort of basic blouse to complement it because there's already so much going on and I think that you just need to fill in that space and be comfortable. I definitely like the blouse that you used for it, but for my advice with the rest of this piece, I feel like it might be a little bit too dark, but like you can try it out and that's really up to your preference. I'm also not sure if your petticoats showing is an intentional choice or an accident, so I like don't want to call it out because like we've all been there. We've all had photos with our petticoats peeking, and then there are certain petticoats that are intended to be peeking underneath a dress, but I feel like this style isn't intended because the edges are kind of like rough, and I feel like it's taking away from the tiered beauty of the dress itself. I don't know that it's necessary to really have them showing there or to use a petticoat that has peeking details, but this is totally a personal style call, so if you love it, don't listen to me. And then I thought this headpiece was a fun way to tie it all together with the stripes in it, but it doesn't take away from the beautifulness of the dress. Faesakuma, I'm just gonna call you Faye, I hope that's okay. I can't believe I'm rhyming. He is looking for any styling suggestions, especially with accessories, and sweet options are extremely limited right now, but he is open to buying more accessories because he fell in love with this dress. I feel like berry prints might be a gateway for classic and Gothic Lolitas to get into sweet. I had this like specific vision for this dress because, as I mentioned earlier, the dark colorways are my challenge. Like, it's difficult for me. I kind of envisioned this in like a 1950s diner type of way, and I tried to pair some things that I didn't normally think of with sweet Lolita. So like these shoes, On their own, they were giving me like My Chemical Romance red and black, but I feel like with this dress, they can give off more of a sweet kind of look. As well, this head bow, which is comprised solely of black bows, I typically would put with something more darker, spookier, but I think that it could be cute because of this like row of bows in the chest part of this dress. And then repeating that with these wrist cuffs, which are white and have black bows on them, adding some kind of interest and pop there. And then tights that are white with like a red pattern in them brings the white from the wrist cuffs down to the legs, and then has the black and red shoes. I feel like the way that I've styled this is like super safe and that there's probably more creative and fun ways to style this. I really enjoy the maid style of headpieces that are not fully a bonnet, but also more fluffy than just a headband. So I saw this maid one with like black ties. I think that that could be a nice alternate headpiece. There was this listing of a bunch of different accessories that were all very picnic, country, sweet Lolita. And I think that any of these accessories could work with this dress. I think an alternative, if you want to go out of my like retro style and more into traditional OTT suite, these wrist cuffs would be a great choice because they have nice detailing on them and they incorporate white, pink, and black, which are all in the print. This necklace totally looks like an angelic pretty necklace, but it is a little bit more affordable. It brings more color to the print. It could be more OTT suite. I especially love those little pink bows on the chain. Finding angelic pretty jewelry secondhand is really hit or miss. Sometimes they can go for really affordable prices and sometimes it's like absolutely outrageous. I filmed a lot more, but I like the length of this video for styling your Lolita. I think it's a good take a break type of video, and now you can get back to your life. I still have a ton of entries and footage, so I think what would be fun is to edit these remaining coordinates into shorts for YouTube to help share this video and give you small doses of Lolita fashion in a spread out format. So I'm gonna try that. Stay tuned on my YouTube for new shorts, reels on Instagram, and be sure to follow me on TikTok if you use that app. I think that about wraps it up. Thank you so much for being here. If you have any advice for any of these Lolitas, please leave it in the comments below. I love seeing more thoughts and ideas around styling Lolita fashion. If you are interested in submitting to this series, all of the information for that is in the description below. And as always, stay lovely. I really want this boba statue. It would be so cute as a set piece. Oh my gosh. I want boba now, but I'm out in the wilderness in the countryside, and the one boba shop that was close to here closed down, and I'm so sad because I filled up my rewards card and I could get a free boba, but then they closed. The closest boba place is about a 45-minute drive, maybe 50, maybe an hour. Hold on, I'm curious now. Yeah, the closest place is 45 minutes away. Anyways, I wanted to admire this coordinate by... I just spit so much. Oh my gosh. This chair, it makes noises, and I hope that people don't think that I'm farting throughout it. I swear it's this chair.